Have you ever wondered what creates reunification in some families and what doesn't? Have you ever wondered why some parents actually are able to go the distance and do the work and why some parents are not? We get this question asked a lot, and we have clients that come to us and then don't do the work, and um, years go by and they come back, 3, 4, 5 years later, um, stuck in the exact same place they were before, 5 years before, and never doing the work. Um, and one of the things that I've really discovered in doing this work for as long as I've been doing the work is that it requires you as the parent, the chosen parent. If you haven't heard that vernacular before, the chosen parent is the parent, the one that's being rejected, that the child is choosing to shift how they're showing up and create the soft place for the child to land. And we've worked with clients throughout the years, and they come in at various different stuck places in the process. And one thing that I've seen over and over and over again is many parents doing certain pieces of the reunification process, the stuff that needs to be done in order to recover their children, only to get to the 10-yard line, using a football analogy, and fumbling the ball. And the reason that they do that oftentimes is they don't have a pathway, they don't have a roadmap, if you will. And they fumble the ball because they don't have the skill set to persist, to go the distance. And so today I want to talk to you about the ninth step and the final step in the Reconnect program in the roadmap, and the final step of the roadmap, which is the persistence compass. And what's really powerful about the Reconnect program in general is that each step has a formula and things that you need to do in each step in the roadmap as you go along. And this final step, the persistence compass, is mission critical. Generally, most people fail right before they're going to succeed in all areas of life, in business building, in relationships, in all areas of their life, in fitness, in losing weight or getting fit. So many people have the ability to learn skills, but they don't have that last critical component, which is the compass of persistence, the ability to go the distance, and oftentimes don't understand that they are one step or a turn away, and around the corner is the success. And so one of the things that sets our company and the work that we do apart from everyone else out in the industry is that we actually have a process. And I've been doing this work since early 2000s and almost 2 decades. And I have seen over and over and over again parents coming at various different stages of stuckness in this family dynamic, and even achieving some stuff and then not going the distance because they are unable to cultivate patience. They're unable to create and follow or just they're unaware of a process of creating that persistence. And so today I want to share with you the ninth step in the Reconnect process, which is the persistence compass, and really help teach you the importance of cultivating patience so that you can achieve reunification, and not just reuniting with your alienated child, but actually helping you get out of the feelings of helplessness and stuck, and creating a relationship that goes the distance. So I want to go through the 3 steps or the 3 processes of the final step of the Reconnect program. And you might be aware that trying to cultivate patience, to achieve reunification and ultimately, reunite and create the relationship that you desire to have with your alienated child is a problem for a lot of alienated parents. And it's not your fault. It's just the reality that most professionals in this space have no idea how to get you across the finish line. And there are so many products and programs and courses and therapies that are not serving you as an alienated parent, or they're not serving your children. And so today I want to go into helping you shift that mindset of feeling helpless and stuck, believing that, maybe you've had a setback or two if you started to reunite, that maybe your child really does hate you, or maybe the mindset of, if I could just get the other parent to change. We hear that a lot. And if you're trying to approach the resolution in your situation of trying to get the other person to change, it's a fool's errand. It's a fool's errand in any relationship. I mean, I do couples coaching, and we have all these different things that we work on with people. And I'm always fascinated by working with a couple, how they're constantly pointing fingers in the blame game, or woulda, shoulda, coulda, or hoping that the other person will change. And that never works. It's told to us over and over and over again. And yet so many people get stuck there in wanting the court to see what's going on and wanting the other parent to change and trying to convince everybody that it's the other person. And even if it is 90% the other person, a relationship always takes two people. And you didn't get where you are overnight. And so one thing I know to be true is that alienated parents don't lack persistence. They actually lack a compass or a blueprint, if you will, on how to channel the persistence properly. Most of you have the persistence to fight. A lot of you have been fighting with the wrong tools in your toolbox. A lot of parents have the persistence to try to get the other parent to change, right? A lot of parents that we work with, a lot of you here in the Alliance, a lot of people that follow us, right? You have persistence. The compass is just not pointing in the right direction, and you don't have a blueprint on how to channel your persistence to get the results that you're looking for. So the first things that clients on this path to really maintain a consistent reunification plan, they have to have consistent effort and commitment to the process. And reunification with an alienated child can really be challenging, and it requires this consistent effort and the commitment from you, the chosen parent, the rejected parent. It is emotionally draining if you don't know how to regulate and manage your emotions. And it's important to remember, though, that with the right tools and the right process, you can have all of those things, but you have to have the right ingredients for persistence as well, because you'll get to the 10th yard line or the 1 yard line and you'll fumble the ball. So consistency in your effort shows your child that you're committed to repairing the relationship and willing to put in the time and energy that is required to reunite. And this can help rebuild trust and demonstrate your love for your child. And children, these kids that have been alienated, they often struggle with these feelings of abandonment, feelings of rejection. They're confused about their identity. They try to navigate the loyalty conflicts between their parents. By maintaining this consistency, you provide stability during the difficult times. And the road to reunification is hardly ever a smooth one. And there will be setbacks along the way. However, when you stay committed through these challenges, you show your child that you are resilient and determined to overcome any of the obstacles together. So you have to remember why you started this path of reunification, so you can maintain the motivation during the difficult times. So whether it was because of a court order or simply just out of your unconditional love for your child, maybe sometimes both. So consistency also means being reliable in keeping promises made to your child, such as showing up at scheduled visits, making your phone calls, showing up for their events, even when they ask you not to. So you're building trust over time. So being present consistently shows your child that you care and that you love them no matter what. It also allows children who've been alienated from you feel that they have been seen and heard and understood and validated and loved and supported and protected and nurtured, which are all vital building blocks towards healing. And if you're dealing with alienation, you're probably hearing your child say all of those opposite things. And so it's important that as you are moving through the steps of reconnect and you're doing the work, that you have to maintain open communication channels. You've got to help your child feel and know that you're the soft place to land, which requires persistence in consistent communication. You also have to know how to communicate with the professionals involved. And we talked about that last week, the how to ally. And most parents, I see them drop the ball here because they get destabilized and they go back to old rote ways of being instead of having a consistent plan and knowing how and when and what to say with the professionals so that they ally with you. And really everyone who's working towards the common goal of really helping provide the support when needed to recover your alienated child. So it's important to not only communicate frequently, but effectively so that both parties understand that there are two people in the relationship and that you understand each other better without allowing these misunderstandings that arise due to lack of clarity and oftentimes leading to disappointment later on down the road. It's really important that you understand how, what, when to say what you need to say, and then consistently, with persistence, show up. And so maintaining consistent effort and commitment throughout the reunification process really demonstrates resilience, reliability, love, dedication. These are qualities necessary for rebuilding relationships with our children who've been alienated. So it is a challenging journey until it isn't. And it's one that can lead to a strong and meaningful relationship with your child that goes the distance. So the second step that our clients implement is learning how to accept that healing takes time and patience, okay, and practice. So when we focus on the specific internal healing as the leader of the family on our own side of the mirror, and we maintain consistent effort and commitment to the process of reunification, we really, as alienated parents, as chosen parents, really can form the bond or resurface the bond because we're doing that inner work. And the healing journey is not an easy one at first. It requires patience and dedication and perseverance. And it can be tempting to give up when faced with setbacks or resistance from the child or interference with the other parent. And it's critical to stay committed to the process, and it will ultimately lead to a successful outcome in any area of life, and especially this one. So one reason why consistency is so important is that it really helps build that foundation of trust between you and your child. And children who've been through this process of alienation, they struggle with feeling like, I don't know what happened. You left me, you abandoned me, you rejected me. And even though they're doing the rejecting. And sometimes if you left the relationship, they feel like you abandoned them, and that's the messaging that they're getting. So when you're consistently showing up for them, even in small ways, like some of the communication, cards and texts and all of the things that we've talked about throughout this process, you're building trust. But I hear from parents all the time, well, I've been dripping love, or I had a conversation, or, and they were really rude, or I'm sending a bunch of texts, but they're not responding. And so you give up, or you go onto I do it once a week, or, you're creating parameters around how you're demonstrating unconditional love. And that is tangible to the child. They can feel that and they see that by how you're showing up. And if you don't consistently show up and it's sporadic, then they don't feel like they can trust you. And oftentimes therapists in therapy, in reunification therapy, they get glom onto this narrative, and then the kids get stuck. And then you get stuck, and then you're in the convince and resist, the back and forth, the power struggle. Now the professional isn't allied. So this is where having a consistency or persistency compass can really help create stability in what may feel like this very unstable situation for your children. And when everything else feels uncertain and unpredictable, having a reliable routine with you as the parent will provide a sense of normalcy, even if they're not able to vocalize it. So when you clean up your side of the mirror, you doing your healing work, you're actually impacting and role modeling and showing the children how to emerge out of the fog. So it's important as an alienated parent to understand that maintaining consistency does not mean forcing the child. You're only when you force me. We hear this all the time. It's the favorite vernacular of the pathogenic parent to say you're forcing the child. And what you don't want to do, and I see this all the time, you don't want to give the appearance of forcing, right? And it's essential to understand what that means in this family dynamic, because usually when that's tossed out, alienated parents dig in their heels and you need to see me because I'm your mom or I'm your dad, and you get into these narratives that hold the family stuck. And so I'm not saying that you're the one that got you there. That's generally not the case. But oftentimes it's how you're showing up that contributes to keeping you there. So we have to accept that healing takes time and requires patience from you, the alienated parent, and understanding how difficult this journey might be, emotionally draining for you and also the child. So your self-care needs to be prioritized throughout the stages of recovery. And it's natural, like totally natural for you as a parent to be separated when you're separated from your child. And the frustration of the incompetence around the legal system and the mental health community, and you want to resolve things quickly so you can start rebuilding your relationship. However, accepting the reality that it requires work from you and acknowledging how much that damage has already occurred and it won't be fixed overnight is critical. And so the healing process involves a lot of internal work. And it's so important for you as the parent to focus on your own healing as well. This includes working through any lingering feelings of anger and resentment and guilt that may be holding you back from fully moving forward. By focusing on your own healing, you as the parent can become the best role model for your children. Children who have been through this alienation process struggle with emotional regulation. They don't know how to express themselves in healthy ways. They don't know how to communicate the rubbish that's been dumped into their emotional container from the other parent. So by modeling self-care and emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, you can help your children learn these skills too, without saying, I'm going to teach you a skill, okay? And what we see a lot is that parents get in power struggles with their children, and we see common communication blocks that we teach in the Reconnect roadmap, that when they shift, it's like some easy to implement techniques that really create that soft place for the child to land. So it's really important that in the reunification process, it's not just repairing the relationship, but it's also addressing the underlying issues that lead to the emotional cutoff in the first place. Therefore, being patient throughout the process will allow you and your child enough time to reflect on what went wrong without feeling rushed by making decisions that might be regretted later. So as the leader of the family, you as the chosen parent need to take charge of this really difficult situation by remaining calm, even when things get tough. And this will make it easier for everyone involved, including extended family members, such as grandparents, aunts and uncles, and cousins who are oftentimes affected by the pathology as well. And so it's really important for you to always remember that why you started down this path towards reunification in the first place because you love your child unconditionally. And it won't always be easy or straightforward, but staying committed while practicing patience will really bring positive results eventually. And it sometimes takes a little longer than expected. But what I know to be true is that most of you watching this, probably all of you, but most of you, have been on the reunification or the alienation bandwagon for a really long time. And maybe you've been listening to me for a while, or maybe this is the first time. And I know that when you understand your role and you're able to shift how you're showing up, that's critical, mission critical in getting the child to fold back in. But the last step is having persistence, having a compass pointed in the right direction and a system, and learning how those who are successful can actually celebrate along the way and stay focused and fine tune the long-term goals. So when you're celebrating, it's essential because this is a tough path sometimes. And because it's easy to get to the 10-yard line or the 1-yard line and fumble the ball, or to be one turn at the corner to reunification and long-term success and not take the turn and stop and turn the other way. So as you celebrate, you're telling yourself and energetically with your child, putting this out into the world, that you are positive and motivated and going the distance. And so you have to acknowledge all of the small steps, no matter how insignificant they may seem. So when we celebrate progress, we can also look back at how far we've come. And I see this all the time with alienated parents. When we get on these calls, we talk to so many parents, and so many people are stuck. And when we ask, what are you doing? They're like, blank, nothing's working. So when they reflect back, it's a trail of missed opportunities, a trail of nothing is working, a trail of ineffective strategies, a trail of despair and hopelessness. And when you work with us and you go through a process, when you reflect back, it's a trail built on confidence and self-esteem, which are critical components of successful reunification. When you reflect back, you're staying focused on the long term, and it's crucial when we're dealing with alienation. It requires you to be patient and committed to the healing process. And as you're maintaining focus on the long-term goal, that means you as the parent need to be aware of potential setbacks and obstacles that arise during these periods, and also plan accordingly. You need to fine-tune your approach in reaching the long-term goals when you're faced with the setback or feedback, and understanding if you get triggered, how to manage those things. And the ability to fine-tune your approach involves really being open-minded and flexible when working towards this objective of reuniting and really fully recovering your relationship with your alienated child. So many people are like, I just want to reunite with my child. But the truth is, it's really the long-term goal. It's not just the reunification. That happens a lot. It's the long-term success. It's not that you just want to be with your child. It's that you want to resurface the bond and you want to have a healthy relationship with your child. So successful parents understand that learning never stops. They continuously seek out new information, new ways of doing the work related to actually solving the problem. So things that actually work and not things that are pie in the sky. So when you're informed of the crucial steps that need to be taken, then it allows you to implement these techniques, and it helps you stay up to date and focused in your persistency in recovering your kids. And successful parents know that when something isn't working correctly, they're not afraid to make an adjustment in their behavior or communication style if necessary, or even understanding the foundation. And it means stepping outside of their comfort zone temporarily, until more effective strategies become apparent over time. So it's really important when you're celebrating your progress to help keep everything moving forward, excuse me, to keep everything moving forward throughout the challenging experience. You have to have regular reminders of what has already been accomplished along the way, so you have renewed hope for the future success of reuniting your family that's been impacted by parental alienation. So this is just step 9 in the Reconnect program. And the Reconnect program is the Alienated Parents Reunification Roadmap. And it is the clearest process, the most predictable process, a proven system for anyone serious about doing what it takes to achieve their relationship goals that they have with recovering their alienated child, to take proactive action, and to really resurface and create the bond and create the relationship that you're looking for. And so we partner. I'm going to show this to you. If this is maybe the first video you're watching, this is the roadmap. This is what we use. And we partner with each one of our clients, and we work with you to achieve each step in the exact order. And one of the things that has become abundantly clear as I've actually taken almost 2 decades of work and really put it in this roadmap for you is it's so easy for us, me and my team, to see where you're stuck. Just by a conversation with you, we know exactly in the process where you're stuck. And most of you are trying to solve your family dynamic in the rebuild or the reconnect stage, the reunification stage, without a foundation and a roadmap, without a clear plan that's designed specifically for you and your family. And without that, it's like trying to build a house without the floor. Or maybe you're in here and you have walls, but you have no floor, or you have the floor, but you have no walls, or you have the walls and the floor, but you have no roof. Okay. So a lot of people are trying to build the roof without walls and a floor, or they got one wall up. Okay. So our job, our role, this process guides you through each phase of reuniting with your children. That is powerful and effective. It's a proven strategy, and it's a proven process that takes you through each one of the steps in laying the foundation, rebuilding, and then reuniting. But not just reuniting, creating the relationship that you want that goes the distance. So in phase 1 is really the foundation, and we utilize our alienation decoder system. And that really is to help you understand alienation in your family specifically, how you got there, how it's impacting your child, and what to do about it. And then we go to the emotional regulator process, which ensures you evaluate your emotions and also your child and even your co-parent, so that you can take proactive action fast. And then the last step in phase 1 is embracing responsibility for change. So we use this framework of the responsibility pledge to guide you through the process of deeply understanding how you shift, how you show up, what your role is as the chosen parent, and even how you and your child got here from your specific situation, and how your mindset, unconscious generally, usually, is what is contributing to it and how to get out of it quickly. Then we move to the second phase. So we're going to the rebuild trust phase. And this is starting with the communication mastery. And the process will ensure success in your ability to master honest and assertive communication. We have a lot of parents that do communication, and they're doing things like I'm dripping love, or I've got this, or I've got that, and I'm doing the same things. And but because you don't understand some of these components over here or have a clear map, so this first phase, we put together your reunification plan, and that's a living document. So you're trying to communicate. It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks. And you might have some forward motion, and then the child goes back, reinfected, and then you don't know what to do next. So the communication mastery really helps you build your communication based on honest and assertive communication, based on your specific situation, your specific game plan. Okay. And then the core mechanism, the next is resiliency builder. And this helps you manage your stress so that you can build from there the container of trust. So the trust architect. You can't build trust if you don't have a strong foundation and you don't understand specifically your alienation. It hasn't been decoded for you, and you don't have a roadmap. You don't have a reunification plan. So you're just kind of willy-nillying it. So we have to build resiliency here. We have to know how to communicate and build your resiliency container specific to this family dynamic and to you, so that you can start to architect trust. We hear alienated kids say all the time, I don't trust you, I don't respect you, I don't like you, you don't love me, all this stuff. But it's really built on a lack of trust. And this lack of trust came from things getting twisted and distorted. So we're going to unknot that so that you can really lay that foundation of trust each and every day like clockwork. And then we move to the final reconnect stage. So this last phase, this is where we've done our reflection. We have the foundation. We started building the wall. So we started the rebuilding phase. And now we've probably kicked the door open. So we've got some communication. And now we're moving into phase 3. And once you are here in phase 3, we will start the reconnection initiator system, which really allows for you to initiate low pressure reconnection fast. And so one of the things we see parents do a lot is drop the ball here, because you get excited, you have some communication, maybe some reunification, and then it's this full-on velocity and it's too much too fast, and the alienated kid disappears. And parents call us all the time and they're like, I don't know what happened. I was like communicating and I was doing these, and then the kid disappeared. What happened? And so in the reconnect initiation or initiator, it helps you create and implement low pressure reconnection. And then we go into leveraging professional ally support. Our unique model called the professional ally really is critical for those of you who still are dealing with family court, or you're trying to get support from the mental health community. Maybe you're in reunification therapy and it's just not going well, and it seems that everybody is against you. This module really helps you understand how to work with everybody working with you in your family. And even if you have adult children and you're out of that spot, and this will help you with the people that are working with you. So if you have a therapist or a psychologist or people helping support you in your healing journey, you want them to ally with you in a healthy way. You don't want them to reinforce your victim mindset, which we all have. We want to lift you out of the target parent mindset and into the chosen parent mindset, which is the empowered mindset. And then the final step is what I talked about today, which is really how to cultivate patience and persistence so that you can achieve reunification and the long-term success with your alienated kids. So this is our reconnect process. Today I talked about step 9. I've gone through all the 9 steps here now in our weekly calls. And if this is something that sounds interesting to you and you would like support, we have started this program where you are supported each step of the way by myself and my team, where we're guiding you through deeply, not only understanding, but integrating and implementing, and really healing and integrating and implementing at each step of the way, so that no stone is unturned and you can get crystal clear on exactly where you're stuck and then how to get unstuck using the roadmap. So if you're interested, please make sure you put, if you don't have a concierge, hashtag concierge in the comments, and somebody on my team will connect with you, and you can schedule a consultation, a strategy consultation with somebody on my team, where they can talk to you about the roadmap and about your specific situation to see if that is a good fit. So let me just say here that this is only for people who are ready to take their relationship back with their children. This is not for people who are not committed to healing, not committed to doing their work, and are still just stuck in blame and unwilling to shift that mindset. And it's for people who are committed to healing, for people who are open to seeking professional help from those of us who've actually solved the problem for ourselves as a child, ourselves as a parent, and also for thousands of other parents all around the world. So it doesn't even matter where you live. And this is also for you if you're ready to invest, to make a lifelong commitment in recovering your children. So if that's you, then click into the comments, hashtag concierge if you don't have one, or if you want to book a consult, you can just click on the link in the comments and jump on our schedule and talk to your concierge about the Reconnect program. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you next time. So remember, peace in so you can have peace out. Let's go get your kids back. Let's go get your kids back. Have a great one, everyone. Bye for now.